that we are done with SWOT analysis, we will be discussing one of the most celebrated metrics in the world of finance. It's called BCG Growth Matrix. What is BCG Growth Matrix? The full form, if you may ask, is Boston Consulting Group Matrix. It was put forth by BCG founder Bruce Henderson in 1970. Now imagine something that was founded almost 50 years ago is still relevant today. Strange, right? But it is so because parameters that it used to determine the growth stage in each business are still relevant today. These are the various names. Some call it BCG matrix, some growth share matrix, some Boston box, and some product portfolio matrix. These all are basically same. Now, before taking you through this slide, which speaks primarily based on English language, this is very confusing, trust me. After so many years, I still get confused. Let's go to a simple chart. What do you see in front of the screen? It's a 2x2 matrix, where on the x-axis, we have the relative market share. And on the y-axis, we have the market growth rate. Now, if I may ask anybody, what is relative market share?
Sir, is it the control that you have over the market? So if many companies are competing in the market, is it, let's say, one company might have 50%, one company might have 60%?
Yeah, that is what it is. That is why the term relative is used. It is your market share divided by the market share of your largest competitor. That is why it is relative. So if your market share is 20 and your largest competitor market share is 40, you call it 0.5 generally, whereas you enjoy 20% of the market share. On the y-axis, we have market growth rate. Now, we all know market growth rate means growth. But what growth are we talking about here? Are we talking about profits, or revenue, or reduction in cost? What growth do we generally talk about when we talk about market growth rate? Anyone?
Is it the revenue?
Absolutely correct. It's the revenue. When we are talking about market growth rate, we generally talk about revenue. Why so? Because if your sales are increasing, there are more customers that are going to buy your product. Even if you are initially incurring a loss, there will come a point of time where you will achieve economies of scale and you will make that into profit. The best example I can think of is Amazon. 7 or 8 years or 10 years back also, it was not very profitable. Tesla 2 years back ago was not very profitable. But when you start selling more, when your revenue is increasing more, you ultimately will make profits. Why? Economies of scale. We have heard that many times. What is economies of scale? Nothing much. Your fixed cost always remains constant. So when more products are sold, per unit cost comes down. That is the simple definition of economies of scale. So let's get straight into the matrix. On the top left-hand side, you see behind the market share column, high. And on the market growth rate top corner, you see high. And they portray it as stars. That means you have a high relative market share and you also have a high market growth rate. What does that mean? That means your market share is comparatively quite high, and the market is also growing very fast. What can be a perfect example of that? Anyone?
Sir, would an example here be Reliance, maybe Jio?
Absolutely, yes. It is Jio. I will tell you why. Today, Jio has the highest market share compared to all its competitors. It's almost 36, 37%. But the market is also growing very fast. Why? Imagine that today our parents have started using smartphones. So 4G is picking up. Many in the villages still don't have cell phones. They will gain access to cell phones and they are gaining access every year. The market has a tremendous growth rate. Initially, when Mr. Bruce Henderson devised this matrix, he thought that the market growth rate of over 10% was a high growth rate. But see, as I told, that was 50 years ago. Today, even in an industry where there is a 5 or 6% growth rate, we can call that the market is growing at a very high speed. Jio is a very perfect example of a star. For Reliance, Jio is a star. Its market share is high and its market growth rate is also phenomenal. What do stars need? Stars need investment. Now imagine if Jio stops advertising or if Jio stops promoting its brand as aggressively. Don't many of you think Airtel will start eating into its customers? We all are attracted by marketing in the telecom business, right? Somebody offers it at $3.99. If somebody other is offering us at $3.49, we will take it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So that is the plan. That to maintain stars, you need high investment. Investment where? Capital. Now, where does Jio needs to invest in capital? 5G technology. We all know 5G technology is coming into India. So there the investment goes. Majority promotional expenses. IPL is round the corner, guys. In 1 month, you will see every cricketer singing or dancing to the Jio tune, Jio Dandanadan. How is that possible? Huge marketing expenses to make sure, because in those 2 months, all of us watch at least, if not every game of IPL, bits and pieces of every game of IPL. So we see that ad twice or thrice. It gives an impression that Jio is doing very good. And to maintain a market share in stars category, you have to do a very high investment in both capital and in the promotion and advertising category. Why? Because the market is growing, If you don't spend, your competitors will spend and eat the entire market. Am I clear? Can we proceed ahead?
Yes, sir.
Second, we will discuss cash cows. What is cash cows? Now, cows generally gives us milk, right? But this has a term, cash cows. So what does these cows give us? Cash. Cash which we can invest in stars. These are businesses where we have a comparatively high market share, but the market growth rate is not very high. It's quite low. And secondary, we don't need to do much marketing on these products. We have an already established market in these products. We don't need to do much in these markets. It's well established. All we need to do is put the products in the counter and most of them will be sold anyway. And that is where the profit comes from, because advertising today eats a major portion of your revenue. Imagine Shah Rukh Khan doing an ad. He charges in crores, right? So the products that don't need that and still enjoy a very high market share, they give a very high volume of cash, which we can invest in stars. Because just now we discussed, stars will require capital investment. Can anyone tell me a perfect example of a cash cow?
Sir, can it be a cigarette or tobacco type company?
Yeah. More specific, let me conclude it for you. ITC.
Thank you, sir.
The full form, Indian Tobacco Company. Now, I won't go into specific of how I know this, but let's keep it into simple. 85% of the cigarettes sold in the country is sold by one company, ITC. Do they do any marketing? Cigarettes marketing is banned. Is the market growing? Of course not. We go and watch movies. There is a Mukesh Harari. When I used to watch movies like 3 years back in the theater, I don't know who they show now. There used to be a Mukesh Harari who died 21 years old of cancer because he used to smoke cigarettes. So government does not want this market to grow. The market growth rate is low. People are getting more health aware. But the ITC, they have an absolute high market share of it. 85%, and cigarettes are still sold in bulks. So that is a cash cow, perfect cash cow, no advertising, no promotion expense, and still you enjoy the entire market. One more example can be Vaseline from, I think, Hindustan Unilever. Now, all of us use, like, there are some petroleum jellies in the market, apart from Vaseline. But from childhood, we only know one brand, Vaseline, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
But the market growth rate is low. Even if they reduce the price, suddenly we will not start consuming 10 Vaselines a month. It can only be consumed to a particular amount, which every Indian household already does. Market share, Vaseline alone, more than 75-80%. Without doing much advertisement. Now we rarely see Vaseline ads anymore because they have already eaten into the entire market. Now I will come into the question marks later. Let's discuss dogs first. Dogs, what does they say? Dogs, they say we have a very low relative market share. There is no market growth. Now, this generally means the business is doing very bad and the product itself is doing very bad. What should we do with these products? We should sell them off. But can anyone tell me of a company which is still running a business which is potentially in the dogs category or a product?
Could it be something that is out of trend at the moment, sir?
Yes.
Could it be something like, let's say, Nestle used to produce a choco bar, a milky bar?
Absolutely. Nestle used to produce Milky Bar. Now, 10 years back, these used to sell, children used to buy. Today, nobody wants to touch that. Every child only wants dairy milk. Let's be honest, even if they want the 5 rupees dairy milk, they will only buy 5 rupees dairy milk. But they won't like to go for Milky Bar. But Nestle is still running that Milky Bar brand. Fourth is the question mark. Now, these are called problem children. Why the term problem children? Now, what happens if you look into the matrix? The market growth rate is quite high, but our market share is low. This means child has the potential to do well, but it may or may not do well. That is why there is a big question mark, and these are also termed as problem children for the parent company. Now, I know this will be a little difficult for you guys, but I will be more specific. You can just praise an example out of one of the examples I have already given to you.
Sir, I have a doubt here. May I
Yeah.
ask my doubt?
Of course.
So, sir, question marks is basically the first stage of any given product or a company, right? After that, they will either go on to become a star or a cash cow or a dog, right?
When the product is first launched, it's always a question mark. Absolutely correct.
So
you cannot become a star overnight.
Correct. So in that case, a question mark could be any one of the 3 examples that you gave, right?
Yeah.
It could be
question mark can become stars, cash cows, or dogs. That's what I said. It is in one of the examples that I've given.
Understood. So, sir, maybe let's say the example for this could be Jio, but a few years ago when it was in the planning process, maybe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When Jio was launched 5 years ago, Mukesh Ambani did not knew where it would head to. See, most of you may not know this because you guys are very young. But 10 years back or 12 years back, there used to be something called as Tata Docomo. it tried to do a revolution, you know as well. It introduced a term called as buddy net. 6 friends or 10 friends we could add in a network. And when we used to talk to those friends, it will charge us 6 seconds, 1 paise. That is 10 paise for a minute. At that point of time, that was a revolution, because companies generally, even after putting power and all categories, they never charged us less than 45 paise or 30 paise a minute. So, but Docomo could not survive in the market. Slowly and very quickly, Airtel and Vodafone adapted to it, and Docomo just got brushed aside. So, if Tatas can go that way, Ambani surely can. So, when that product was actually launched, it's a very correct example. Mr. Ambani did not know. It was a question mark for him. He had a revolutionary idea. But so did Mr. Tata when he launched Tata Docomo. But this question mark eventually became a star. That is why it is a question mark. It can become a star. Stars can eventually become a cash cow, or question mark can simply become dogs like Tata Docomo and Go. Now, we studied so much of this metrics. First, now let me take you back. Read the first line. The BCG Growth Share Matrix is a method of analyzing a portfolio of products or businesses based on growth and market share. That means we are not analyzing the entire company here. Most of you already understood that. That is my point of view. We are analyzing the portfolio of products or businesses. A company can have a number of businesses. Tata has Tata Motors, Tata Chemicals, Tata Steel, TCS, and number of other businesses. When we are using BCG Growth Matrix, we are not going to tell that Tata is a dog or a star. We are going to analyze every product, or in this case, every company. Now, within a product also, like within a company also, there can be a number of products, which we can use to analyze in BCG Growth Matrix. For example, Jio offers a number of plans, 448 for 84 days. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not using prepaid for very long. 448 for 84 days. I think 349 for 56 and something like 200 for 28 days. Within Jio, and for broadband, they have separate connection. For 6 months, they have separate plans. So within one portfolio of Jio, they have so many products to offer. So this does not only mean that when you are sitting with Reliance, you will only use BCG Growth Matrix to analyze Jio separately, retail separately. No, you can analyze each and every product of Jio using the BCG Growth Matrix. You can think that 399 plan is very high. 56 days, people use it very high. The market growth rate is very high, and our market share is also very high. We are star in that. Cash cow is our 84-day plan, where we are getting 500 or 498, whatever rupees. That is the plan the customers maximum use. Question mark, we are launching a new plan for like 6 months or 1 year entire subscription. We don't know whether customers will take that or not. Why? Because in 3 months, customer may switch the service. Is it true that in 3 months today, if you are not satisfied, you will simply port the number, right? So in this case, we do understand that within Jio also, there are so many products to offer. And there may be some dogs as well, which Jio initially used to offer, but don't offer it anymore or charge very high price for it. So we just don't analyze only company different products. Within a product also, we can analyze number of categories based on this BCG Growth Matrix. And that is why it is so relevant even after 50 years. Are we clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Any confusion?
No, sir.
Just as we are analyzing, the second thing is, see, I call it the gold standard test. Just like COVID came 2 years ago, we started with RT-PCR test. Now so many tests are available in the market. Rapid antigen, then they check some other test, some other test, some other test. They immediately check the swab. But still, if you go to the doctor and he has to confirm the COVID, he will always say go for RT-PCR. That is why this matrix is termed as a gold standard for 50 years, even after 50 years. Imagine you are sitting with CEO of something like Tesla, and he has so many models, Tesla 1, Tesla 2, Tesla 3. And Mr. Musk asks you, what should I do? Let me take my case. What should I do? Should I shut down Tesla 1? It's not giving me enough revenue. I will say, sir, give me 2 days. What will I do in these 2 days? I will frame this entire matrix for all the products that Mr. Musk wants me to make a decision on. And I will present him with the facts. Because only with the facts you reach a conclusion. And this matrix will remain relevant as long as something better is not found. Second, when we are using BCG Growth Matrix, which is the line which I've already told you, why is it used? To assist companies in making decisions, whether to sell, keep, or invest additional resources. Now, what does this mean? See, cash cow, now this portion I will need your help. Cash cow is something which is giving us cash, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, you have cash coming in from something. You have stars, question mark, and dogs, all 3 categories of products. Now, first thing, every individual has a limited amount of money. So imagine you have limited resources. Where would you like to invest your money first? In the stars, question marks, or dogs? I think you should pick stars. Why? Because your market share is already very high and your growth rate is also very high. So that has more potential of becoming a cash cow in the near future. Don't you guys think so?
Yes, sir.
Like, imagine just like I have grown up a little bit on Bollywood movies, so I will try to put an example there that someone like Ranveer Singh, he is already a star. So if you are, as a Karan Johar, if you are earning money from a Shah Rukh Khan movie, you would like to invest first in his movie rather than producing a movie with a newcomer. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because there you have the potential to earn money. Ranveer Singh has already got a brand, got a fan following. He has potential to earn some money. The money which you have hard earned from cash cow, just because you are earning from cash cow, that does not mean you will waste. First, your money will go into stars. Now, question marks are a very tricky question. See, what can happen with question mark? Question mark may go up, go down, or just go into dogs. Now, there can be a number of products in the question mark. You may choose to invest in some. You may choose to sell some. Just like I said, you guys said, like, let's look at this example, correlate. This is a BCG growth matrix of Coca-Cola. We all have heard of this company name, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, I will try to explain this very simple, that how decisions are going to be made. I am not the right person to make decisions for Coca-Cola, guys. Coke and Limca, these are generally cash cows for the Coca-Cola, not only in India, across the world. They do the least marketing on these products and they sell anyway. Wherever we go, we first look for a Coca-Cola. Now, what happens is, ask your parents 20 years back, Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, and Sachin also together used to come to promote Coca-Cola in a single ad. But that was a star back then. Now it has become a cash cow. It does not need much marketing. To put it in a shelf, it will give you money. You have so much variety of products. You guys said, first we should put money on Star. Absolutely correct. Star is Maaza. Maaza is something very close to fruity, which enjoys the dominant share in this Indian market. Kinley, packaged drinking water. Second to BCG, the leading market player. And Thumbs Up Taste the Thunder. You said, first we should invest in Star. Now, question mark, there are two you find on Coca-Cola, Fanta and Sprite. What I meant was that you may choose to invest in Fanta and you may choose not to invest in Sprite. Because you find that Fanta has more growth potential than Sprite. Does that sound logical?
Sir, can you repeat the question one more time, please?
I would like to ask, you guys said we are earning money from cash cow, right? We are getting all the money from Coca-Cola and Limpa. You guys also told me first we will invest the money in the Star category because that has the potential to become a cash cow. We have no objection about the dogs. We all think we should not invest the money here, right? Because we don't have any market share and there is no growth rate. So we should not be investing any money here further. In question mark category, now see, Coca-Cola has two products, Fanta and Sprite. Now, even if you decide to invest some money that is left after investing in Stars, is it necessary to invest in all the products in question mark category?
No, you can, based on your analysis, maybe you can pick out the best one. Maybe if you think, like, let's say, maybe Fanta is a unique flavor which doesn't exist in the market, maybe you would invest in Fanta.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That we were discussing simple company, but see, just a company like Coca-Cola, it has two or maybe three products in the question mark category. It cannot keep on incurring advertisement. Major expenses is advertisement. It cannot keep on advertising for everything like Fanta, Sprite, and everything in the question mark category. It has to pick one product or maybe two, depending on how much cash it has. That, okay, it shows that Fanta, you said, that it has a unique flavor, that this is not much available in the market. So it decides, let us advertise on this for a few more years and see. Maybe it can become Star because the business growth rate is high. And it chooses to either divest. Divest means you sell a portion of your business or you reduce your investments in it. That can be Sprite. Now, I ask a very simple question and I do believe I'll get a simple response. Do we think, any one of us think that even if money is left, we should invest in dogs?
Sir, we can invest in dog, but not that big amount of money. Little bit.
Yes, we can, but there has to be only one criteria of investment in dogs category. When we think the market will catch up in the future, otherwise we should immediately liquidate the business. Because believe me, a company which has already a low market share and a low market growth will not survive. It is already costing you money. But still, Diet Coke is running, after 25 years. It was launched almost 25 years ago in the US, more than that. Why does Coca-Cola keep on investing in the Diet Coke? Because it feels one day people will become health conscious and then they will ask for this product. That is why Coca-Cola is still investing in the Diet Coke. But as a general thumb rule, we say you invest in the Stars first. If any money is left, you invest in the question mark, depending on how much money you have and how much products you can purchase out of that money. And then lastly, dogs, it is already eating your money. Unless you see a great potential for it in the future, you sell it off. And that is how BCG matrix of Coca-Cola or BCG matrix entirely is presented. Any questions, guys?
No, sir. No.
On SWOT analysis or BCG growth matrix? So let us just summarize what we did. First, we studied SWOT analysis. What does it mean? Strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Strength is something you already have. Weakness, you need to work on it. As we always say that you need to make your weakness as your strength one day. Opportunity, I told you the perfect example, the CMA and CPA courses that are available in the market. Threats, when you choose the Indian courses. Why that is a threat? Because you may or may not pass. Let's be very honest. So when you do you should all, after this lecture as a student, do your own SWOT analysis. You guys are young, you have to take your career forward. You should decide what should you do in accordance with what this analysis tells. Once you do it practically, you will understand. Second, we talked about Bandhan Bank, which is quite a big player in the private market, but not a very big player. We discuss its strength. It has a presence in the market, cost structure and all. Weakness, it cannot sell credit cards. I have 3 credit cards, but none of Bandhan Bank. I believe most of your parents don't have either. You can check with them and get back with me after the lecture. So that is the weakness. Retail banking is the key. You have 130 crore people looking for personal loan, car loan. That is where you will earn money. What is an opportunity for Bandhan Bank? It can increase its reach. It is a new bank, just 7 years old. And threat, one more threat can be, there are other players in the market, AU Small Finance Bank and others which are in the same segment and can give it great competition and are doing very good themselves. Then we went into BCG Growth Matrix. Now, we first discovered that it's a gold standard matrix founded 50 years ago. It is named after the consulting group, Boston Consulting Group, given various names. Some call it BCG matrix, some growth share matrix, some other names. Taught at all the IIMs and every management school across the globe. Why is it so important? We learned that it came up with a simple formula that when we are sitting to make a decision on a product, we will only take 2 things into consideration. We will take what is our market share in the product and what is the market growth. Based on that, we will decide whether we should invest more money in the business or we should just keep the business as it is, or we should sell it. Sell, keep, or invest. Generally, you sell the dogs, you invest in the stars, and you keep some question marks. You don't keep some question marks. Cash cows is top. Absolutely, you will keep it. Now, then we moved into a live example of something called as Coca-Cola, because it has so many product metrics to go by. Maaza, Thumbs Up, Kinley. We understood, or we tried to understand that what are its cash cows. We thought, yeah, we don't see that many ads for Coca-Cola anymore, like Coca-Cola. It is just in the shelf. We go to any supermarket, we buy it. It is used in a variety of forms. But for Maaza and all, these are upcoming products. Maaza is trying to compete with Fruity. That is why they are paying, I think, 30 lakh crores to advertise for it. Kinley is trying to compete with Nestle, which dominates Indian markets. Thumbs Up has a unique flavor, but they invest a lot in it. Sometimes Akshay Kumar, sometimes Salman Khan. They are investing a lot of money seeing these big stars of Bollywood, hundreds of crores, trying to make these stars cash cows. Question marks, as you guys rightly said, Fanta and Sprite. We thought, see, Coca-Cola is a best business. They have a lot of resources. Maybe they decide to keep all in the category. But as a general thumb rule, if they don't have much money, somebody rightly said that Fanta has got a unique flavor. Sprite also competes very fiercely with Mountain Dew. And Diet Coke is in the top category. That generally means it should be sold. But Coca-Cola is running it for more than 30 years now, And of course, we can visualize that they are thinking that there is a future when so many people will become more and more health conscious. And they will look for Diet Coke, which has less sugar, less fat elements, and all. And we also learned that BCG Growth Matrix can be applied not only to an entire company or an entire product, but different segmentation of products. So this is all I can conclude for today's lecture. Hope you enjoyed it. Do any one of you have any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you.
No, sir.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the lecture.